Call recording on.
All right, hello Cleveland. Welcome to another edition of Call Recording On. Today is Wednesday, May 19th, and our guest is singer-songwriter Martin Sexton. Martin recently released his new album, Sugar Coating, which dropped back on April 6th, and he will be performing in the area with Dave Matthews Band at Blossom Music Center on June 25th. Without a doubt, one of the most highly anticipated shows of the summer. Martin, thanks so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you, Joe. Glad to be here, man.
Good. And first off, Martin, I do need to let anyone listening to this know that may have had plans to attend your previously scheduled show for June 19th in Cleveland. That has, in fact, been canceled, which seems to have really upset the folks running the venue. Oh, really?
I had a June 19th show in Cleveland. Didn't even know that.
Yes, you did. So the venue's got it posted, and the Beachland, the ballroom.
Oh, you know what? That's a good example of lack of communication between artists and management and agents, I guess.
Yeah, the venue seems kind of upset. They said that you canceled the show within 72 hours of booking it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Surprised it went up for sale so quickly. But anyway,
yeah.
It's insider baseball.
Yeah.
So how's everything there in Ohio, man?
Oh, it's great. The weather's beautiful finally after a couple rainy days. So it's good. And where'd you say you're at right now?
Salt Lake City.
Good. That's a good place to be. And as I mentioned here at the open, you've got a new album out called Sugar Coating. Released on April 6th on your own Kitchen Table Records. Can you talk about the recording process of the album, where it was recorded, who you worked with, and so forth?
Sure. Well, I produced it with my old-time friend, Crit Harmon, who I've produced a lot of records of mine with. And we recorded it kind of old school back in Cambridge, Mass. I just kind of showed the players the tunes in the morning around the kitchen table there in the studio. And they would chart it out, and then we'd go in and just do takes, take 1, take 3, take 4. And usually by the, 4th or 5th take, we had the keeper take. So it's pretty much a live recorded album. It's not like a lot of overdubs, or we didn't really mess with anything too much in post-production. So it's got that nice, it's got a lot of like little mistakes on it that I think give it some human character, and I'm pleased with the way it turned out.
And how was Sugar Coating different from your past albums? Did you try anything new this time around?
Well, this Sugar Coating, I think, has even a little bit more sort of social consciousness and awareness to it in the songs. I always have some awareness in my records, but this one has even more. I think probably because in the last couple of years I've sort of been waking up to just certain realities of the world, how our world is run and how our government's run. And I was also trying to key in on this record on the idea of unity between people. I'd like to try to be a part of the solution when it comes to getting rid of divisive issues like, things like red and blue and left and right and Democrat and Republican and all that. I think we all enjoy the U.S. Constitution. We all enjoy our civil liberties, but they're being chipped away sort of as we speak. And I think if we could all band together, we have a better shot at holding on to what our founding fathers, built.
And I know you're rooted in Boston, which is rich in history. Does that have any influence on your recording? And, you talk about the founding fathers and the roots. And did, your Boston roots have any influence on the album?
Well, I think the Boston roots probably show up only in that the players, like I personally don't live in Boston anymore. I haven't lived there in about a decade. But the players are all from Boston. And it was recorded in the Boston area, so I think in that regard, it probably has some Boston-leaning sounds to it, if there is such a thing. But not really anything except that.
Hmm. And do you have a track on the album that you consider your favorite or that you're most proud of?
Sugarcoating record. I think it's a good record. I think it's a strong album. I think it's something I think has legs. I as the guy who made it, I'm proud of it, and but I don't really have a favorite track on it. And oftentimes I do, but I can't think of one offhand that is a favorite of mine.
Fair enough. And this is your fifth consecutive album that you've released on your own indie label, Kitchen Table Records, before which you put out 2 albums on Atlantic. What advantages are there for you specifically and other musicians as well to release music independently versus working with a major label?
Well, it's a great time to be independent right now. It's there's so many avenues at our fingertips now that weren't there a decade ago. With all the social media and the websites and just everything else. It's just radio. Things like commercial radio are not the kingpins they used to be in making an artist. And I have benefited from just a wonderful sort of loyal following. They seem to show up everywhere. And I have support from outlets like yours here, or a lot of college and NPR radio particularly, and some commercial radio has been very supportive over the years, and we've got good traction on this record at commercial radio, which is refreshing. In Atlantic, I had a good time with them. I didn't have any horror stories. I've heard a lot of horror stories of artists with major label deals where they just get forgotten and are kind of stuck there. But I had a good run of it. I made 2 records. They let me produce the second one. And I just knew that I didn't need them, basically. After the second record, I really got a sense of what they were going to do in the future, and I knew that I could do that without them. So they graciously, let me out of the deal, and I put out a double live record, which sort of funded my whole operation, and it's been a really wonderful ride ever since.
And as I mentioned earlier, you'll be in town with Dave Matthews Band here on June 25th, but I see you're currently doing your own headlining run, and that you recently played the New Orleans Jazz and Heritage Festival. How was that? And, how are things going in New Orleans right now?
Well, I was there right before the Slick hit. I didn't even know about it the day I was there. And so I couldn't tell you how things are now because we were there just for a day and then we headed off to Atlanta. But as far as musically and culturally speaking, it was a wonderful thing. We had a beautiful day and a lot of beautiful music was being played and awesome food was being served. And we served up our best set there at the Jazz Fest. And it was a great experience. It was a real milestone for me because that's such an important festival. And everywhere I look, there's all different shapes and sizes and colors of people. And that's the only festival in America that I've been to where you have black and white, different colored folks, all around. Usually it's one or the other in America. And it was just a beautiful thing to see, people all coming together for the music.
Yeah, that's one festival I've never got to go to. I spent the summer working for MSN.com, and I got to go to all the major festivals except for that one because our tour started after that. But I hear it's absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, it was great.
Mm-hmm. And how does it feel?
Did our set, and then off we went to the next gig.
Oh, no time to check out anyone else while you were there?
Oh, I saw some folks that I knew, like Ivan Neville and his band Dumpster Funk and a couple gospel groups, but not really that much time to take it all in.
Mm-hmm. And how does it feel to be playing your new music from Sugarcoating to live audiences?
Feels good. Fans seem to like it, and feels good coming off the stage. So it passes the live test for me, the songs. and I've got a new band out working with me. So we're sort of representing the record, kind of like it sounds like on the record. As opposed to me being solo, I've done a heck of a lot of solo work over the last decade. And so I've got this band with me called the Ryan Mount Blue Band. And they're a wonderful bunch of guys out of Boston. They do my opening set, and then they act as my backing band through my set. So it's a really cool situation we got going. It's just been a lot of fun.
And for people that are coming out to the show in the Cleveland area here on June 25th that might be huge Dave Matthews Band fans, but maybe aren't too familiar with yourself, what is the first impression or one thing that you want people seeing you for the first time to take away?
Let's see, man. I guess the first impression would be, oh my God, I got to buy this guy's record. If I want to be brutally honest. Yeah, I want you guys to buy my record, basically. No, just half kidding there. I guess I would just like people to have a first impression of me like, this guy means what he's saying. That's I think if I could put it in a nutshell. This guy means what he's saying.
Mm-hmm.
And
Martin,
go right ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to say, we're going to let you go here, but I want to say thanks so much for taking the time out to join us today. And give it to you one last time on Martin's new album. It's called Sugar Coating, and it's out now, available at all the usual retailers and e-tailers. And you can check out Martin on June 25th at Blossoming Music Center. And Martin, thanks so much for taking the time. It's been a pleasure.
Cool. Hey, thanks so much for the support. I appreciate it, brother. Peace.